In a huge boost to Indian automobile industry, Mahindra & Mahindra has taken a huge leap forward, clinching the #2 spot in sales of passenger vehicles in February 2025, beating global auto giant Hyundai in the process. Mahindra also received the crown of India's largest SUV seller in India, which is the third biggest auto market in the world, with yearly sales of 4.25 million vehicles, ahead of traditional powerhouses like Japan and only behind the United States and China. The significance of Mahindra eclipsing global players like Korean brand Hyundai cannot be overstated. It means Indian auto giants are now ready to take on the best in the world, both in terms of quality of the product and sheer sales numbers. But how will the entry of Elon Musk's Tesla impact Indian car makers? We will take a look at that in just a bit. But first, in January this year, Mahindra emerged as the second largest private vehicle player just after Maruti, as it sold 50,000 plus units, more than that of Hyundai, which sold 47,700. It was because of a massive 19% year-on-year growth in total sales, driven by an impressive 15% growth in Mahindra's SUV portfolio. Meanwhile, Hyundai's revenue in April to January 2024-25 was 58,000 crore rupees with a 14% share. It's considerably lesser than Mahindra's revenue, which touched 71,000 crore rupees with a 17% market share. That's impressive in a huge auto market like India. According to data released by research firm Jato, another global player, Toyota, registered a revenue of 51,900 crore rupees and a 12.5% market share to bag the fourth spot, while Tata Motors completed the top 5 with 48,900 crore rupees in revenue and a 12% share, in another victory for Indian auto manufacturers. But once again, clearly leading the race was Maruti, India's largest private vehicle automaker, with a revenue of 1.2 lakh crore rupees and a 30% market share. Now, Maruti Suzuki is an Indian company, but it's a subsidiary of Japanese Suzuki. It retains the largest market share due to its affordability, fuel efficiency, and a wide dealer network. From days of Maruti 800 to WagonR, Swift or Brezza, Maruti Suzuki has catered to mass market in India with affordable family cars. But what's driving the sudden impressive growth of Indian car maker Mahindra & Mahindra? M&M claimed the overall second spot is on the back of its remarkable sales of its various SUVs, such as the Scorpio, Thar, XUV 700 and XUV 3XO. No wonder it is the leading player in the SUV segment. Rajesh Jejurikar, Executive Director and CEO of Mahindra's Automotive Division, commented on the firm's admirable performance. He stated, quote, "For us, revenue market share is a more critical metric, and so is having the top position in SUVs. And in this process, if we also become the #2 private vehicle player during certain periods, that's a bonus for us," unquote. On the other hand, Hyundai has cited geopolitical challenges behind low volume. The Korean company still retains a top 3 position and remains optimistic about demand patterns returning on track, especially after the income tax regulation and relaxation given in the union budget. Tarun Garg, Chief Operating Officer of Hyundai India, stated, quote, "Despite geopolitical challenges, we remain optimistic that the proposed tax reforms in the budget and improved liquidity will provide the much-needed demand boost," unquote. The recent reshuffle of rankings of the car brands in the country indicate a shift in dynamics, where Indian domestic manufacturers are slowly but surely gaining more ground on global players. Auto has become one of the most vital contributors to the Indian economy. The sector itself generates 7% of the national GDP and employs over 37 million people. Currently the third largest auto market in the world, the industry produced around 23.28 million vehicles across segments in the financial year 2023-24. In terms of market size, the Indian passenger vehicle market is expected to reach $54.8 billion by 2027, while the auto market in total will reach $300 billion just by 2026. India's auto sector rise is further highlighted by its status as the world's largest manufacturer of two-wheelers, with over 21 million units produced annually in India. In 2024, the Indian auto industry produced a total of 28.4 million vehicles, covering passenger vehicles, three-wheelers, two-wheelers, as well as quadricycles. The automobile sector received FDI inflows of about $36.2 billion just between April 2000 and March 2024. According to SIAM data, in the first 6 months of the last financial year, the automobile exports from India also rose 14% year-on-year, with overall exports in the April to September period standing at 2.5 million units. Maruti Suzuki remains the largest exporter of Indian-made vehicles and is followed by Hyundai. While vehicle exports from India have conventionally been to markets in Africa or Latin America, surprisingly, Japanese carmakers such as Honda and Maruti are exporting passenger vehicles made in India to their home countries. Mahindra and Mahindra too has exported over 3 million vehicles made in India to the world, becoming the only Indian carmaker to reach that milestone with markets in 30 countries worldwide. As India emerges as an export hub for foreign carmakers, even Ford Motor Company announced in September last year that it wishes to reopen its Chennai plant. It had stopped operations in 2021, primarily for exports. India's drive towards electric vehicles is also gaining momentum. With 2.5 million vehicles on the road by 2025, it's on the path to becoming the third largest EV market. It is projected to become one of the largest EV markets in the world by 2030, eclipsing the United States and competing with China for the top spot, with a total investment opportunity of more than $200 billion over the next 8 to 10 years. The industry's growth trajectory is further supported by initiatives such as Make in India, the Automotive Mission Plan 2026, and the National Electric Mobility Mission Plan 2020. Now, on February 25th, Tesla's potential India entry triggered a sharp stock market reaction as domestic automakers such as Mahindra and Mahindra and Tata Motors shares took a major hit. According to reports, the American firm might launch retail operations in India as early as April this year and will set up a manufacturing plant with an annual capacity of 500,000 vehicles at an investment of $2 to $3 billion. To appeal to Indian consumers and in a huge challenge to Indian carmakers, Tesla will launch an affordable model priced between 20 and 25 lakh rupees. Tesla's cars can become even more affordable under the Indian government's new EV policy announced in March 2024, offering a 15% reduction in import duty, wherein automakers invest at least $500 million in local manufacturing and then can import 8,000 vehicles annually. However, after the initial attraction, it still remains to be seen if and how Tesla can challenge Indian carmakers like Mahindra and Tata, who are now making a huge mark on the global stage. Have your say. Can Indian carmakers challenge the world's leading auto giants within the next decade? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button, and subscribe to Inconnect News.